Welcome to Weekended. But before you go and relax this weekend or head to a comics event, let's get you in to know of all the comics news that came over the Comics News Wire this week, that turned heads and comics pages in this comic book industry. And now to our anchors to give you the news you need to know. Hey everybody, here we go. It's Autism Awareness Month, for those who don't know. I asked to see if I could hijack Weekend for 5 minutes today as we started the show, because I wanted to talk about it.
Oh yeah, it's a very important topic, and that's right. Today, it is tomorrow is Autism. No, it's today, huh? It's Autism Awareness Day.
Yeah, all day. It's the whole month as well. People don't realize that it gets the whole month, just like we have Black History Month, Women's History Month. This is Autism Awareness. And autism is something that continues to rise year after year. And it's, I'll give you some personal perspective here. When you see your kid struggling, when every other kid's not having the same problems you do, you go through a lot. There's a lot of emotions. I remember thinking I screwed up. I didn't feed him right. I didn't pick the right milk. Like, there were so many things you begin to blame yourself with. You even start taking tests. And I even found out that more than likely I do have Asperger's. So it's probably one of those cases where it's manageable for me, but I've learned to hide a lot of the symptoms, because that's what a lot of people did growing up. When I grew up back in the 80s, you were just told you were stupid and to get with the program. So you learn to hide your disabilities. Well, these kids with autism, they don't have that choice. They're different right from the go. And I don't see my son the way other people do. He's 6 now, officially diagnosed, and that was a journey in itself. He flaps his arms, and I can see other people's reactions. And I remember I used to get, I don't want to say embarrassed, but I got nervous about the fact that people were looking at him. But he's such a wonderful little kid and so sweet. When you get to know him, everyone really enjoys him being around. We were just at a comic book store, and I was complimented he was one of the best kids that were ever in there. Like, he is just a wonderful kid. You can't cut autistic kids out, and just because they're different doesn't mean that there's something necessarily wrong with them. They just learn in a different way. And you have to understand parents. If parents are dealing with an autistic child and they're being a little loud, calm down. That's just how the kid is. The parent's going to tell them to calm down. What do you expect, someone to punch their kid for expressing themselves? Trust me, as an autistic parent, you want your children to express themselves. It's a wonderful moment to see that. And you have to do so much. I mean, if you know something's up with your kid, don't be afraid to yell for help. Go to the pediatrician. Fight for your kid. Trust me, I was on phones left and right every day at one point during the weekdays trying to get him the help he needed. And that really has benefited him. We have gone to therapy twice a week, except during the whole mix-up we had with all the real life stuff that we couldn't do anymore. Except for that, he has gone to therapy twice a week. He does speech occupational. We're getting him a behavioral therapist. It's work day in and day out, every day. What do you want? Tell me the words. But now he's communicating with us. He wants to have conversations. You can't shut him up sometimes, and it's wonderful. I can't tell you how great of a feeling it is to say, will you shut up? There was literally a time I couldn't talk. But now he gets so excited, and I try never to tell him to shut up, to be honest. I just tell him, hold on, baby. And you see me do this with him. Yeah. Settle down. I'll be with you. Please just let me finish, because he's also got to learn respect. And yes, my son says, please, thank you. He's sweet to people. Autistic kids are capable of that. Whatever you think you know about autistic kids, understand there's a wide spectrum. There's many different kids with, just like ice cream flavors, there's so many different kids out there with so many different things. Even normal kids have their own things going on. So you can hear him in the background having fun. Here he comes. He's gonna run and check on me.
Hey, right on time.
And he tickled me and ran away. Like, that's just the kid he is, and he just lives to have fun. He's very sweet. Don't ever think that kids with autism aren't worth getting to know, because they are. Sometimes will surprise you. Sometimes they're the most clever people in the room. And I'm not just saying that. Research has proven it. Just like ADHD is linked to intelligence. A lot of people don't realize that, but it is. Just with this month, if you're anyone, whether you know someone, heard of it, or are dealing with it every day, read the research, share the posts. Let's bring more awareness to this, because it's going to be affecting us more and more as things continue to progress. I believe the last statistic, and I'm sorry, I should have looked this up before I came on, but I believe it's up to 7% of children. And I can look it up and get back to you guys. But yeah, I think 7% of kids are now autistic throughout the world, and it's a growing thing. And no, we don't know what's causing it, but I'll tell you this, it's not vaccines. Please do not skip getting your kids vaccines because you're worried about it. I saw the things with Jax before he got a vaccination. It wasn't something that flipped the switch. It was just something inside of him. I saw it when he was very little. I just wasn't ready to admit it, but looking back, it was always there. So I know that, see, you've had some experience with autism, right?
Well, yeah, my younger son especially is on the spectrum. He's a little higher on the spectrum, but I'll tell you one thing that amazes me about him, because he knows he thinks differently. He'll tell you he knows he thinks differently, but that kid in math is amazing. I've never been good with math, but to him, it's like a second language. And it's just because their brain, it doesn't mean their brain doesn't work or that it doesn't even work properly. It just doesn't work the way you might be used to, but it does work, and it works in a magnificent way. So it does take patience, sure, because you're talking about trying to understand each other, talking about being on different wavelengths. But I think it was funny, and you're talking about having to, tell Jax to hold on and continue talking. My son does the same thing. He will go a mile a minute, and he'll bring out. It amazes me sometimes because he'll see stuff that I don't see and bring it out, and it's just like, whoa, really? And he's 11. He's about to turn 12. So.
Yeah, and my son got even with the trouble talking. There's specialized tests. And Meredith, you can come in the room because I know you have experience with this too. Meredith's in the background. With Jax, they made him take an IQ test. He has close to an above average IQ, and they think when he starts speaking, he will have an above average IQ. So that just goes to tell you about the kids. And here's some statistical data. 1 in 54 children in the United States are now diagnosed with the autism spectrum disorder. According to the data in the ASD 2016, 1 in 34 boys are now diagnosed with autism in America. I believe this is America. And 1 in 144 girls are diagnosed with autism. And with girls, there's a danger that parents don't pay a lot of attention to girls' developments. They write it off, oh, she's just a girl. Please don't do that. Please don't ever diminish someone by their gender. If you're noticing a behavior, don't write it off as it's a girl or they'll grow out of it. Stop the mentality that they'll grow out of it. Take the time, just talk to your pediatrician. You don't know, because with a lot of these things that are going on, the earlier detection, the more. It's about taking my son to speech. It's been about traveling the world with him. Well, not world, but the United States with him, and pointing out cows and having conversations. I swear to you, he was Montgomery Frog at one point in his life. For those who don't know the reference, I mean, Montgomery Frog was a frog that would only do his song and dance when you were alone with him. So he would talk to me when no one else was around. And my ex at the time, we were still married, thought I was just being mean to her and cruel to her, saying that he would talk to me. And then one day when Jax didn't know she was home, because we came home from something and she was in the other room and he didn't know she was home yet, he was just talking to me. And the minute he saw her, he stopped. And she was like, why are you stopping? And he wouldn't say anything to her. And she's like, oh my God, he really does talk. She could not believe it. And I was like, I told you. And then I remember she even went to the doctor the next thing. She's like, no, he's really talking in front of the doctor. At first, she's like, no, he's not talking. He's just babbling. Rob doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, literally going against what I was crazy. I really felt like the Montgomery Frog. And then they saw it. The speech therapist used to have me sit in the room because they'd know I could coax him to get talking. And they loved it. So I sat in the room with him for years, just sitting there so he would talk more. For years, being in a room just so your son could talk more. I would do it 100% over again, even more if they wanted me to. It takes that kind of dedication. It takes being a parent. Don't look at it as something bad. This is your kid. Your kid needs you. It's that simple. Be there for your kid. I have no patience for people who don't have time for their kids. And I'm not talking about the single mom struggling with the dads out there struggling with time. I understand you. Trust me. I get it. But you still got to make time for your kids, because your kids never decided to be in this world. It was your choice to have them in this world. Treat that accordingly. What did you? I know, Meredith, you've dealt with stuff like this your whole life.
Oh, yeah, I am an Aspie and I'm proud of it. But it took me until I was in my mid 30s to understand. And that was because my son was getting assessed. And, unfortunately for my son, even though I saw the early signs of it, I was the only one who saw the early signs of it and recognized it and asked questions, and nobody saw it. He was right on that edge of, nah, he's okay. No, it's just, he's just a boy. He's just, to why are you trying to find something wrong with him? I would get like angry flashbacks, from people. Hold on a second. Speaking of child autism, I think they're trying to get money from me. But yeah, I mean, it was just one of those things. For me, we didn't, my parents never heard about Asperger's when I was a kid. They just thought I was kind of high strung and, I liked what I liked. I was being a precocious child, whatever the case might be. That in a way that kind of threw me into the fire. I didn't have a choice but to learn how to cope. And, quite honestly, because I'm higher up on the scale, I kind of resent being on the autism scale. They changed that with the DSM-5. And when I was, because at this time I was studying psychology, and I was just like, I don't agree with that. I do not agree with that, because there isn't anything. If you are capable of learning and learning the cues, learning the social niceties, then you can go out and learn. But yes, maybe with some help, maybe with some guidance. But for me personally, I never felt like it was a disability. I found what I'm gifted with, the things that other people can't do. And so I've been able to pursue jobs that catered to that, catered to those gifts. My son, for example, I mean, see, Michael, you were saying it. My son, he was failing in English, but he would get hundreds in physics in high school, right? And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I kept on calling the school and I said, look, if he got help, he would really succeed. He would maybe have the confidence to go out and get a job and really do well, go to school and things like that. But no, he was the weird kid who was really good in math. And that has put a big chip on his shoulder, And so he pushed back. And anytime I say Asperger's, he gets angry, because in his brain now, because he's heard it so much, is why am I trying to find something wrong with him? And I keep trying to tell him, you don't understand the gift you have. So that's kind of my experience in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And I could talk for hours. I could talk for hours about this, some of the stories, some of the coping things. But this is weekended, isn't it?
Well, and see, but the thing about it, and what we really need to change society, is the negative tones to autism. Just throwing that out there as if a negative thing. It's just a different way of thinking. That's the case. That's how I see it. That's how I view it with my children. It's just a different way of thinking. It's not something wrong. It's something different, and we need to push forward to take those negative connotations off of that word, off of that, to mean that only means a different way of thinking.
Absolutely. And I am going to give it to you guys. I'm just going to say this on the way. I grew up, they didn't know anything other than, my point was ADHD. They knew I was one of the first cases on Ritalin. I'm in a medical textbook. And I remember being told by kindergarten teachers, you're just stupid. We've come a long way since that moment. We've come a long way. They didn't even know I was dyslexic till I was 12. How much of a fail is that for the Board of Education? So we have come a long way. The school system, I want to give them credit. They're definitely trying with autism. I have nothing good things to say about Lee County schools, what they have done for Jax. But you parents need to step up and support other parents with autistic kids. Stop saying, oh, this is just troubled kids being put into different things. Let me tell you, it's not that. These kids aren't troubled. They're just looking for guidance, and they do need a little extra help. But we all do sometimes in life. So support that. Don't get in the way. Stop saying negative things, and don't tell your kids. I saw this at a restaurant recently where a kid was autistic and he was freaking out, and they get that. I've seen Jax freak out. It's not as bad as this kid was, but I understand it. And I've held his hand. Me and Jax have a great relationship where if I rub his chest, he'll calm down. And it's just it's the time I put in. But I'm able to do that with him. Not all parents even knew how to do that or even can do it because their kid might just not respond to anything. They're just freaking out. And this parent looks at their kid and goes, oh, if you ever acted that way, I would kick your ass. And I just happened to not be with Jax, so it was a wrong day for that, and for me, because I've had a long couple weeks lately. And I just turned to him and I said, if I ever hear you say that again around me, and I don't know you, but this is a small town, me and you are gonna have a problem right in front of the kids. I was like, you don't understand that situation. Don't talk shit. And I was in a tank top, and I had my tattoo showing. And that was the end of the conversation, and he apologized. Because like if I have to get a tattoo on my arm that says I have an autistic kid, that'll be my next tattoo, and it'll be a tattoo I'll put on proudly. You don't do that. I remember this one guy. I'm not going to let you get to the news. This is the story. Jax, we used to go to Sweet Tomatoes. We love Sweet Tomatoes. The staff loved Jax, and he was having a day, and he was just jumping. He was jumping up on the seat. He's autistic and hyper. But he was being nice, he was saying hi to people, and he was excited, and he was jumping around. And this big guy, like lurch-looking motherfucker, walks over, and he goes, hey, maybe you should learn how to handle your kid. There's other people in this world. And I just didn't even bother looking up at him, just looked ahead, and I was like, you better leave before you can't walk anymore. And he was like, what'd you? And I was like, you heard me. Say one more fucking word. The whole restaurant got quiet. And I'm with Jax, so I'm not trying to show him anger. You know what I mean? Like, you can't show your kid anger. And the guy just starts, and I looked up at him, and I'm telling you, the minute I looked at him, I must have had that devil look in my eye. The dude backed away. The manager came up and said, what'd you say to him? He looked like he was going to change his religion. I was like, I hope he does. But that's just how people are. He was being behaved. He was being a little loud. He's a kid. I don't understand. Like the people who go to movies that are for kids and get upset. Oh my God, I came here to see this movie. It's geared towards kids, motherfucker. Come on. All right, that's it. Go do your weekend stuff. You guys have a great show. Thank you for giving me a couple minutes. Make sure to support autism awareness by being aware. The most important thing is to read things, not just headlines. Read some research papers and understand that they're really bright kids that if we empower, they might just be looking at the world so differently that they'll change the world. All right, guys, enjoy the news. I'm out of here. And remember, tonight, Freaky Friday, 8 p.m. or 9 p.m.? I forgot. What do we do? 9 p.m.
9 p.m. Eastern.
It's an interesting one.
It'll be
interesting. Let's get freaky. Let's get freaky on Good Friday. That should totally be the name of the show tonight. This is a Good Friday to get freaky. I know. I'm going to hell, but you're all coming with me.
Oh my God!
I hear that's where the party is anyway.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I bet.
I'll bring the beer.
That's what they tell you to get you there. That's what that is.
Hi, C.
Hey, morning. Hey, Comics Newswire here. Comics fans, we're here to tell you about the news on mainstream and indie. I am C. Michael Lanning, independent artist. I've done work for Silverline, the upcoming Continuum Comics that's coming at you soon, and a multitude of other things coming up. And of course, I'm your anchor right here on Weekend It with my beautiful co-anchor, Meredith Lochran. Where are you from, Meredith?
Well, I am in sunny Florida, and I went from like 80 degrees to like I have to put the heat on, and we're in between today. But hey, I'm Meredith Lochran. I am the associate editor over at Geek Insider, as well as the executive producer of the Geek Insider podcast. I am one of the partners in Continuum Comics, and you're going to be hearing more about that very, very soon. And I am the Asian from Ragin'. So we kind of do a daily vlog, and it's a show about absolutely nothing. So why not tune in? Back to you, C.
I don't know. Y'all talk a lot for something. It's nothing.
Hey, you know what? Seinfeld. How long was Seinfeld?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's like, yeah. I won't say it.
I'll be honest with you. I've never been a Seinfeld fan. So
Well, they say it's a show about nothing, and
I agree with that.
It works. It works.
All right. Well, let's get into some news that's about something. So there we go. It's time to end the week with knowledge of the creative happenings of this week in comics and comics industry.
Mm-hmm.
And would you want to take the first one for us?
Well, here we go. Superhero dad and son with autism develop inspiring comic book series. Led Bradshaw used his skills as a professional comic book artist to bring his son Jake's artistic vision to life. And you can find that on today.com. See, this is what I mean. Today.com. You're finding more and more in the mainstream about comic books. I think that's pretty amazing.
And that's not going to be the first thing I think we have in different areas. It's starting. We're expanding, guys. We're expanding. If you've seen that Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where that stuff that kind of expands, it comes alive and it expands and eats up the town. That's what comics are doing. Beware.
Beware.
Of course, we got something from our good friend Gamal Hennessy. He tells us I run a boutique legal practice specializing in comic book publishing. If you'd like to learn more about getting the right legal protection for your independent, freelance, or creator-owned comics, please visit my website and set up a free consultation. And of course, that website is creativecontractconsulting.com. Guys, get over there and see what he has to say. He's got a lot of good stuff for you. If you want to be a comic book artist or writer and in this indie comic market, get over there and find out what Gamal has to say. You won't regret it.
Protect your stuff. And this is something that crossed my newswire, and I'm glad that it's here. Rest in peace, Chris Yambar. He is an artist, writer, publisher, and if you're looking at the images, you can see that he's done work on SpongeBob SquarePants, The Simpsons, Popeye, and a whole bunch of others. Rest in peace, friend.
Yes. I didn't even see I Dream of Jeannie back there behind the shoulder. There's like I Dream of Jeannie comic or cartoon. What?
Or maybe he was a writer for the show.
Could be.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go, guys. If you haven't gotten enough of him, here he is. Batman's hometown takes center stage in DC Comics, exploring Gotham City. DC Comics Exploring Gotham City will give in-depth insight into major locales in the world of Batman, including, that's right, the Batcave. So we'll take a trip, go take a look at screenrant.com to get a little bit more information about old Batty's hometown.
Interesting. This is from William Russell, who shares this. It is the cover reveal time. My next cover for Dynamite Comics and Bands Comics with Robert Lawson and Steve Spearman. Vampirella versus Purgatory #2. What?
Uh-oh.
Pencils and inks by me. Colors by Robert Nugent.
All right. And if you don't know, you can get Scout Comics monthly in a monthly subscription box. Subscribe and get up to 12 bagged and boarded. That's a great deal. Monthly new Scout Comics for $33.99. One-time purchase is $39.99. So check over to scoutcomics.com. If you can't find them in your comic book shop, you can always get them to order from previews, or go ahead and order from Scout Comics. Set up that monthly subscription. You don't have to spend the gas to go out there, because I don't know if you noticed, but gas is going up.
Yeah. Yep.
Ooh, let's see if we can open
What
this
is
up.
this? Merrick the Sensational.
There we go.
Merrick the Sensational Elephant Man. Here we go. The most remarkable human being ever to draw the breath of life. Hi, guys. We're running a competition for the chance to win a copy of our volume first trade paperback. Just give our page, Merrick the Sensational Elephant Man, a like, and then tag a friend who you think would like the comic in our pinned post. Open worldwide, so it's not limited to the U.S. They will ship it pretty much anywhere. They will randomly select a winner in just under 4 hours. Oh, no, we missed it. But Volume 2 trade paperback is on Kickstarter right now, so you can get issue #1 for a free download at merrickcomic.co.uk.
All right. So let's see. So that was UK. Does that mean it was 4 hours for? What's the time zone on that one?
I don't know.
Let's
Maybe
see.
there's a chance, but I mean, head over to their Kickstarter anyway.
But find out, and
Yeah.
if not, pick up that first issue. It looks good. All right, and here we go from our friend Samvira. Catch the Crazies. The countdown begins for issue 3 of Catch the Crazies. Sign up now on our landing page and get ready for an explosive day 1 surprise. The launch date is April 29th. Join us on our live show Wednesday for special announcements. Of course, that's Catch the Crazy podcast, if I'm not mistaken. And check it out, guys. When was this put up? On the 29th? Oh, so you might have to go back.
Plenty of time.
You might have to go back and go find that special episode on YouTube, but
yeah. But with the Kickstarter launching on the 29th, that's the end of the month. Make sure that you head over there and hit the notifications on launch button. Sign up for that.
And speaking of stuff that's not in just comic book news.
What is this? NewCountry991.com says Colorado is home to the largest comic book store in the world. Read more at NewCountry991.com.
And of course, they're talking about Mile High Comics. That where it means something different to be part of the Mile High Club. And it also
places,
go check this out.
I'm surprised.
Go check this out, guys. They also have a video on there that Kevin Smith gives of this is the largest comic book store. It is huge. It is massive. One aisle has over 500,000 comics in it and boxes. You think you've seen the comic boxes? You ain't seen nothing till you've seen Mile High Comics. So go check that out, guys. It's really awesome. Read the article. Know more about it.
I think that would be cool to visit, but I would probably be seriously overwhelmed.
Look, that's what he encourages. He wants parents to bring their kids. They don't even have to buy anything. He just wants them to be there. It's just they could get the experience. That's what he loves. He said that he could sell that building with everything in it for $4 million and go spend, or even he could even rent out the company and go spend the rest of his life drinking. I can't remember what he said, but then he couldn't come in the middle of the night and say stroke the spines. So the man loves comics. It shows. He's been collecting. Started in 1961 in his parents' basement. So go check out that video. And if you're in Colorado, go check out the comic book store. I wish I could.
Well, this lovely piece of art here, check out this amazing cover by Gregorio Lagarino, available through the Bunny Goes to Space campaign on Indiegogo, featuring brilliant artists' interpretations of Bunny. This is one art book you want to have on your shelf. Join in the fun and grab 10 unlocked stretch goals already.
Ooh, wow.
They're doing pretty good. That's over at Indiegogo, you guys. Take a look and look for Bunny Goes to Space.
All right. Let's see here. Oh, of course, we've got more from Mars City Vice Farm, Sentient Cow Games. Mars City Vice, first, number 1 is fast-paced and entertaining comic crush. Alien gangsters, symbiotic kingpins, and hard-boiled detective all in the same neon wrapper? What? That's from Geek Vibes Nation. A fun romp through the 80s with a sci-fi twist. And that's coming from Comic Watch. All those kind of reviews and sayings, you got to go check that out. Welcome to Mars City. The heat is on. Oh, I'm going to have that song stuck in my head all day now.
I know. Damn you, see, you shouldn't have said it out loud.
See, look, the worst thing could have been if somebody said Footloose. Oh, man. What?
Why?
Oh.
That's
We
terrible.
hurt the ones we love the most.
Flashdance just goes through my head. Okay, So, hey, we're back with another terrifying chapter from the high seas, fully funded in just 8 hours, and we're offering lots of stretch goals and add-on goodies. Also, if you've ever wanted to see yourself drawn as an undead sailor, here's your chance. Moby Dick, Back from the Deep, issue number 4 is on Kickstarter right now. Head over there and give it some love. And if you can't afford it right now, that's okay. Hit the share button.
Oh man, they're bringing dreams to life. You gotta love comics.
I wonder what I would look like as a dead sailor.
You know what? It makes me think of the Pirates of the Caribbean with Davy
Yeah.
Jones and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But this is interesting, though. If you don't feel like you're part of comics, DC is letting you have a chance and a stab at it. DC Comics is asking fans to vote on various pitches to determine new series. Go check it out. We're at comicbook.com where they talk about how DC is throwing out a couple of pitches to fight each other to see who's going to win the next comic book series. They have some really interesting pitches. I'm kind of sad that some of them are going to lose. Well, most of them are going to lose.
A lot of them.
There is a whole bunch over there.
Well, you know what? I think that's really important to understand why your pitches are so important, because it's that one opportunity for somebody who is in a decision-making capacity to go, oh, I want to know more, and bring you to the side. And I've actually seen competitions, pitch competitions. And the winner will get something, whether it's published or developed into shows and things like that. You never know. Make sure that you get your pitches right on.
Well, it's interesting. I remember reading from an editor at one time, and this was about, they were pitching books. They were at a show. I think it's I can't remember the fantasy publisher right now, but they were talking. They were at a show. There's a bunch of pitches going on, people going up and showing their pitches and stuff. And two of the editors had gotten afterwards talked about what they found interesting. And they were both talking about, one was talking about one book and the other was talking about this other book. And it comes to find out they were actually talking about the same book, but they got separate things from that one book. So what they saw as one way, meaning, let's say, is about magic. The other one saw it as about family or friendship. So those pitches need to be well-rounded, guys, that you can strike every angle that anybody's going to see. So maybe you find somebody that's not interested in magic, but you will find somebody that's interested in the family angle. You want to make sure that you touch on that. Same thing happened with Walking Dead, because Walking Dead wasn't pitched really right in a way. It wasn't picked up first time when Kirkman actually went out there to pitch it. But the idea was, of course, a man taking care of his son during the zombie apocalypse. Which that zombie apocalypse, we got enough of those. Man taking care of his son during this horrible, stressful time that you can't do anything about. Now we're talking about a book we want to read. And of course, we know we're talking about Carl.
What is this? Wow, so happy with these.
I mean, looks like it.
Stabbity Bunny, somebody help me. These Stabbity Bunny plushes are amazing. A dream come true. So let me see here.
Let me see.
I'm missing some.
Sorry.
A dream come true to have Stabbity Bunny come to life looking so much like the character in comics, limited to 1,000. You can get yours at scoutcomics.com. Make sure that you get over there and do a search for Stabbity Bunny, and I'm sure that this will pop up.
Oh my
Those are
gosh.
adorable.
I know, that's why I kind of got lost there for a minute.
Only 1,000. Wow.
Hey, now you were on this show the other night. You want to talk about this?
I can. So Lola, the indie princess, has launched her very first Indiegogo. This is Lure, an adults-only horror thriller graphic novel in the style of Eyes Wide Shut meets Saw. What? In order to find out more, you need to head over to Indiegogo, do a search for Lure, Lure, and find out more. They've got some pretty good swag, and yeah.
Oh my
Congratulations, Congratulations, Lola, on launching your first Indiegogo. I know the journey is just beginning, girl. I know it.
Oh, welcome.
Welcome.
Hey, what's interesting is you pick. Both of these are some screwed up movies. I'll be honest with you. And I love Saw was great, and Eyes Wide Shut. Well, it was weird.
Yeah.
So definitely check that out. That's an interesting pitch right there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. We have Fallen 3. Fallen 1 through 3 is 55% funded. Help us hit our goal by backing today. Check out thefallencomic.com. All right. Looks
this
cool.
is where pitches matter. Like, tell us a little bit about what it is.
Let's
What
see.
am I looking at?
Let's see. Maybe we get a little info here. Ancient gods are running the show in 80s New York gangland, but what happens when one of them is murdered? Oh, all right, guys. They got 70 backers over there, so go check that out.
26 days to go.
Ooh.
All right. Not bad. Not bad.
They only have to have about 1,000, 300 and what? What? Not 1,000,
Well,
300.
I'm looking at this. Is this, let me see, pledge of 2793 goal. I'm wondering if this is, okay, Canada. So, yeah. So be aware that there might be some shipping involved, but Fallen 1 through 3, the thrilling mythological noir.
Excellent. All right.
And here we
Let's go. All right.
Let's go.
I'm getting there. All right.
The latest Dreadlocks graphic novel, Lilith and the Jackal, available now, family. Urban Style Comics is releasing this at urbanstylecomics.store. Make sure that you head over there.
Ooh,
not really sure what else it's about, and not sure that we can play that video.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I gotta veer away from it, guys. Sorry, but maybe. But look, hey, go check them out, and go see what that video says, or even come over to the Comics Newswire and play it. You can play it at home. We don't have to have it here. So, all right, from CBR.com, 25 years ago, Brian Michael Bendis' comic book career took a big step forward with Jinx, and their feature looking back on comics from August 25th. Oh, I'm sorry. That was even wrong anyway. 10, 25, 50, and 75 years ago, CSBG spotlights the March 1996 debut of Brian Michael Bendis' Jinx. Check it out. They're taking a look at individual comic issues and what that means for the creators and the writers that participated in that. And of course, Brian Michael Bendis, I think he just finished a run on Action Comics, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, we know him from a whole bunch of other stuff. And of course, one of my favorite characters, Jessica Jones, also comes from Brian Michael Bendis, if I could get his name right. So go check that out.
And this is from Dwayne Showtime Robinson. Please support our Kickstarter. What is it? Salvation and Nightfall. And let me see. I mean, that art looks amazing. It really does. So, with only a few days left, let's see. This was posted on March 28th. So, I don't know how much time there is left, you guys, but head over there. With only a few days left, there's still time to support the Kickstarter campaign. You get 2 great action horror titles, 4 comics in total. Please click the link, and that's at Kickstarter.com. Look for Salvation and Nightfall.
All right. Mystery Marvel comic with John Romita Jr. coming, but there's a catch. What is this Mystery Marvel comic? Well, don't go check it out on CBR. You got to go check it out on GamesRadar.com. See what that's about. So John Romita Jr., of course, son of John Romita Sr. I know that seems like it's a dumb moment, but you're talking about generations and legacies of comic creators. So go check that out.
And what is this?
Looks like we have some Scout Comics.
Yeah. April's Scout Comics subscription box contents are now live. We were talking about that earlier. Head over to Scout Comics to get your subscription and get your comics bag boarded and mailed right to you. The headliners this month are 2 limited edition sub-box variant covers for Children of the Grave #4, Fantastic Four cover homage, and Grom, Galactic Rodents of Mayhem #1. The Ashcan preview this month is Black Caravan's Count Draco Knuckle Duster. There will also be a few more surprises, including 3 Scout metal covers announced just before cutoff day on the 25th. So stay tuned. The link is in the comments below, so make sure you head over to Week Ended and hit that link.
All right. We have a preview of America Chavez Made in USA #2 of 5 with Spider-Man. Check out this exclusive 3-page preview of America Chavez Made in USA #2 of 5 from Marvel Comics. So that's over on monkeysfightingrobots.co. Not .com, .co.
Mm-hmm.
That's the strange part about that address is the .co. Not the monkeys fighting robots. That's normal.
Yeah, it's comics. A life hack moment for the Comics Con Highway Forecast. Until further notice, we are going to place all upcoming events in one link and use it as a guide. With cons slowly returning, for now, this will be the quickest way to get people informed. We will use creators' own posts.
Okay, my computer.
We went a little nuts there. We went a little nuts.
Yeah, my computer's going nuts. Hold on.
Where'd it go? There it is. Okay, so we will use the creator's own post about going to events to showcase what they are doing and ask everyone to add those posts below so you can be seen as well. We rise together. Head over to this post if you are going to a con. Maybe you'll already see it listed. If you don't see one listed, add it to the highway. We want to know where you're going and give the event some love too.
All right, and I'm glad to see that starting to make a comeback.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've got about 5 events that we're going to be going to as Continuum Comics representing.
What? Oh my gosh, y'all!
Florida's open, you guys.
Y'all have fun. Is that all in Florida?
I believe so. Well, most of them. There is one in North Carolina. So far on the calendar.
I think there's one in Louisiana. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
There's one in Louisiana, and that's only one out of the 2 that we normally have.
We might be meeting in MegaCon, won't we?
That's a possibility. We'll have to see.
It's a very good possibility, so we will see what happens with that.
Yeah, I have to move to Florida, apparently. That's where it's happening.
It's where it's happening.
And, of course, we had Sunday Comics Brunch, Hello Spring, this past Sunday, where we talked to Paper, Rock, and Scissors and Stuff creator Lou. I cannot recall his last name off the top of my head.
I'm just going to call him Lou.
You know what? Go over there and find out. That's what you need to do.
Paper, Rock, Scissors, and Stuff.
Paper, Rock. That looks like an awesome comic, guys. Go see if you can check that out on I think it's on Kickstarter, so go check that out too. Yeah,
there's this one cover with Paper's running for its life, and you've got Scissors looking all like, I'm going to get you. It's awesome.
My gosh. It's that awesome. The baby Paper. Oh, my gosh.
No, run, Paper, run.
You want to know what we're talking about? Go see that Sunday Comics Brunch. That's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about.
And it looks like we did some other talking earlier this week.
Speaking of, so this is through Geek Insider and Comic Book Advocates, where we had a nice geek speak with the Kablam guys. Tommy Florimonte and Barry Gregory were there. We got to talk about their comics journey, what they're doing at Kablam. They've got some really cool stuff happening. Yeah. I mean, like Kickstarter fulfillment.
I'm telling you, what I was when I read that. That's why I said when I read that, I was like, they basically, guys, they will once you have a Kickstarter, you have to get with them before you do your Kickstarter. They'll give you the pricing and everything. You get with them, and then you'll put it out there, and they will mail it to your backers for you. That's right. No, none of this. Get the stuff, put it in an envelope, spend it in a whole day, and maybe you like doing that. Some people do
like it, yeah.
But putting it in the envelopes and sending it out, these guys will do it for you.
Yeah. The only thing is, obviously, that it can't be creator signed, so it's basically from printing to shipping.
Well, from what I understand, what they do as far as the creator signed stuff is concerned, and I was talking to Tommy about this because Tommy, I got it in with, Tommy's inking something for me.
Yeah. Pinkies up, people.
Yeah. And anyway, but what he says is that when it comes to signing stuff, what they'll do is they'll take the page to sign, send the pages to the creator, have them sign it, then you send the pages back, and then they staple the book together and put it out.
Wow.
So, and the way that they made it sounded so easy. It sounded complex to me, but the way he made it sound like, that's nothing. We can do that. Mm-hmm. No problem. So they have ways to work with you guys. Check out Kablam. Check out this interview.
And they love comic books. I mean, it's for the love of comic books, guys.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Oh, look, it's our buddy America Sensational again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's move on down. Oh,
What is this?
FlickeringMyth.com comic book preview. Marvel Action Spider-Man #1. IDW Publishing launches its new all ages Marvel Action Spider-Man series this Wednesday, and we have a preview of the first issue for you here. That's FlickeringMyth.com. I like that artwork.
I do too. I'm gonna go check that out.
I'm telling you. Why does it have? It says all ages.
All ages.
All ages. That means me too.
And I really want to see more and more of the all ages. You know.
Right, because even 90-year-olds read comics, guys. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. Backer paws gets candized.
Canadianized. I have Canadaized, I guess.
I don't know what the heck that
There's
is.
Canadian people there, guys, so beware. We need to put a disclaimer. Every time that we have a Canadian on, we're going to have to put a disclaimer to let everybody to know that from the Maple Country, we have a Canadian on, just in case.
But Backer Paws, honestly, you guys, you need to check it out. I have seen people, like seriously, people who have put their videos up, through the gauntlet. Basically, you have people who are fans and consumers who are up there, and they basically raise their hand whenever the video, your pitch, loses interest. And by doing that, we give some honest feedback, some critiques to help it level up so that you can sell better. And it's not about tearing anybody down. It's not making fun of anybody. It's really like, okay, what about this video caught my attention? What lost me? What can be improved? What could you do to make this video better and sell to me? And so I mean, I've really seen people step up a lot with their videos because of that. And so, yeah, if you've got a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo and you've got a video and you're like, I don't think it's getting the views that I think it should get. Well, I mean,
I'll put it this way. When I do, we have seen firsthand people see these videos, people see these comments, go and change their videos, and it changes drastically for them. One person, I'm not going to say who, but one person I remember them saying we went to their video. The people that were on the show chopped it to hell and back. He went and did the editing while we were talking about it, put that back up there, and he actually saw a significant difference in his backers. So this helps. This really does help. And you know what? And if you haven't gotten to the point where you're backing or you're kickstarting anything yet, go check out what it has to say. All that little tidbit of information helps you to know your audience more, because everybody on there loves comics.
Yeah,
that's the case.
And you know what? When we were doing the Enter the Continuum, when we were doing the videos and things like that, we were putting up our videos. Rob and I were going at it, all right, and we were helping each other level up. And Rob, I swear I didn't steal your voice. I didn't do. Maybe I did just a little bit, but you know what? I won. I am going to take the trophy for that. And you know what? Wait until the next campaign, because you're going to see more jazzy hands from me.
You know what?
Okay?
Look, it's like the stock footage out there. It's stock footage.
Come at me, bro. Come at me.
If you've been following this, you understand perfectly well that Meredith actually had every right to take Rob's voice. I said it, Rob. I said it. Come at me. Come at me. No. Oh golly! Next time it's gonna be showdown, guys. So y'all need to stay tuned and watch Continuum Comics for that. Oh, more from Scout Comics. By the Horns #1 goes into a second printing. That's awesome to hear. You always want to hear that your first printing sold out, and you've got to do a second printing. That says By the Horns. You can check it out for Diamond Order Code FEB 218601. Check it out, guys. It looks like it might have something to do with a unicorn and a snake.
That, you know what? That's a problem that I want to have. You know, it's like, man, we ran out. We got to print again.
What's that old saying? Leave them wanting more.
Yeah.
Although you don't make much money doing that, so you want to give them more. All right, here you go.
What is this? The new Remarkables. We completed the 3 pages for public view preview of the new Remarkables #1 for 2021. The other 3 pages will be seen in the pages of TNR #1 preview edition and FCBD. What is that? FCBD.
Your guess is as good as mine.
All right. Well, until then, Pyre
free
and
comic book day. Duh.
Oh
my God.
Hello.
All right,
Free comic
guys,
book day
don't
edition.
crucify me out there.
All right. So until then, Pyre and the children of Ra are making demands and trying to hold the world hostage with eco-terrorism. The results could prove catastrophic unless some remarkable heroes can answer the call and beat back the enemies of man. Tune in for the new Remarkables #1 on Kickstarter in June 2021. I don't know that they've got that up yet. I don't see a link. But when you see it, make sure that you hit the notify me on launch button. Get your ticket to the Thrill Ride comic of 2021.
And it looks like that's a Facebook page, so maybe just go over there and like the Facebook page.
I think Champion Comics, that's a link. I don't know where it goes to, but maybe that's a link to their Kickstarter.
Let's see.
Just do a sneak peek.
Oh, there you go. Champion Comics presents. So there, that way you can get go check out their Facebook, guys.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take that off. I don't
Some
know.
insight.
Okay. So, all right, cbs.com/shows/cbs this comic books evolving portrayal of women. Oh. Watch the CBS this morning, comic books evolving portrayal of women, full show on cbs.com. And you have a young lady on here saying, if you give girls comics they like to read, they'll read them. Well, that makes sense, but I think that feels to everybody, doesn't it?
I think so. And what do we have here? Black Cotton. The image is a little bit skewed here, but Black Cotton #1, second printing is still available through Lunar. Make sure you get your copy of Lunar. Go to lunardistribution.com to find out more. Right. Second printing. Congratulations.
And it looks like we have a comic books page here. Let's see what this is for. Alpha Dogs. Here's a page for my comic, Alpha Dogs. After years of living in anonymity, that the pit bull's owner, Ina, not only brings her new boyfriend to the house, but reveals the dog's incredible powers. Soon the pit bull Buck's life is thrown into chaos. Head over to the Kickstarter page in the comments below. So check out Alpha Dogs, guys. Maybe just go over to Kickstarter, type in Alpha Dogs, or go on Facebook and take a look.
Mm-hmm. And this is from FlickeringMyth.com. Comic book preview, Vengeance of Vampirella #16. Dynamite Entertainment releases Vengeance of Vampirella #16 this coming Wednesday. I think that just happened.
So let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. Does it become now a rite of passage for every model that they have to at least one time in their life model as a Vampirella? I'm just curious.
I don't know. I mean, you would not catch me dead in something like that. But hey,
what's funny about that is Vampirella's creation has a hand in with two women that helped design Vampirella and, of course, gave her origin. So, yeah,
and I'm seeing more and more, cosplay alternate, variant covers and things like that too. So I guess it's a thing. I kind of look at comic books for the art, but
let me tell you this:
you can send hate mail to me. It's okay.
Well, I will put it this way: one thing I can say about going to the cons that makes going to the cons is the cosplay, because it is an ultimate love for something. And I'm not just talking about the women in the booth. I'm talking about everybody that comes in there in costume. I've thought about doing it before. I'm just not that talented. Duct tape does not pass well on these things. And so seeing that cosplay and giving love to those people who do cosplay and bring attention, because that's bringing attention to two things. That's bringing attention to the comic, and that's bringing attention to the people who are out there bringing attention to stuff. So I think I got why they're doing it. I got you.
Well, you know what? I was at a smaller Comic-Con, and there was a little girl whose cosplay was basically a box, and she'd sit there with her hand sticking out of the thing, and my husband walked by and he went, "Despicable Me, right?" And she's like, "Oh my God, you're the only one who got it." And but that's what
I don't get it. I don't have seen it.
But that was it was like one of those things where, you know, you get fans, and I love cosplayers. I know a whole bunch of cosplayers, and they are really cool, and they put so much time, energy, and money into their costumes so that when they go out there, it's really for the fans. You know, and to sit there during the event and be like, "Hey, can I take a photo?" I mean, they will stop, they'll make that pose, and you keep going, and it makes it fun.
It does. It's a whole
I know
different.
some of the vendors have a problem with the cosplayers because they're like, you're taking up my, you know, you're in front of my space, you know. I'm like, okay, I get it, but it's a full immersion experience, you know.
That just goes for cons, and you know what? That goes for life in general. Be considerate of everybody. Be considerate of everybody around you. Know your atmosphere. Don't just know your exits, guys. Know how you're affecting everybody else too.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Speaking of which, you want to take this one?
Black Sun Samurai #1, an epic adventure set in mythological feudal Japan. It is a world where honorable samurai live side by side with Tengu, Oni, Kappa, and other beings from Japanese legend. And that is on Indiegogo right now. Take a look. Do a search for Black Sun Samurai.
That is a gorgeous cover, though.
Yeah.
That is a very gorgeous cover.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe somebody could cosplay that.
That is, yeah. I mean, just.
Oh, look what shows back up. And that thing is one of the world's largest comic stores is here in Denver, and it's a pop culture fortress. Now, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Colorado legalize something?
Did they know?
Oh, no. Can you imagine? I bet you now you just have people going in there and standing in one section for a long time. But if you want to know more about Mile High Comics, check out thenode.denverpost.com for more about that. And I'm glad to see that they're showing a lot of love to these guys. And if you look, they also have discounts and auctions all the time online. You know, go like them on Facebook. I have them constantly getting to my email, and you can say it's spam, but I don't. I keep them around. You just never know what you can't find that they have.
And this looks like is this the Stephanie Buddy?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, the Stephanie Buddy 16-inch plush is now available. Remember, we mentioned this earlier. There's only 1,000 of them. So if you want it, you need to head over there now.
All right. The Comics Market Watch is about news that affects the comics industry as a whole, and also is a place of Hollywood news we do not cover on Weekend It with Meredith Cochran, content creator, and C. Michael Lanning. Many of the I don't think I've heard of that one. Many of the news stories in here will not make it to Weekend It, but are worth sharing. Check back daily for changes to what's in the lineup of stories.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the Comics Market Watch. And this is interesting.
John Woo directing adaptation of unreleased Stan Lee comic book by Stephanie Williams a day ago. An unreleased superhero story from Stan Lee is currently in development. What could that be? Well, you need to head over to gamesradar.com to find out more.
Again, not solely comic book related game site, but people don't realize that Stan Lee was still creating some here and there. I even have a book that came out a couple of years ago that Stan Lee helped to create. Now, he might not have been able to do as much as he used to, but he still was throwing ideas out there. And now, growing up this is, of course, from Rob Anderson, growing up having comics being so important to me and having them inspire me to learn to read, it's hard to explain and get anyone who reads this to understand how much these moments mean. As a teen, I was a dropout who was still enrolled. I would cut classes all the time and often go into Manhattan, go to comic book stores over on St. Mark's, which is now gone. I remember how the smell of comic book stores were back then. The newspaper print. I think he's doing a little plug there. I remember when Midtown Comics opened, and now 24 years later, I can say something that came from my heart, mind and soul, is for sale at a comic book shop in Manhattan. And with any luck, it will inspire some dropout like I was to reach for more out of life. Thank you to all supporters and believers in me and Cat Dad for this moment. Chuck Pinault made this book better. He is the editor, but also means so much more to this project. Rahil Moshin, I'm probably not saying his name right. I'm sorry, guys. His art flew off the page and made instant believers. I am not making this post without both of them being in my life. To me, this is bigger than any award I could ever get. This is the moment where I am now represented at home at a shop I got to go every time I get to go to every time I go home. I am so homesick lately, but this makes me feel like a piece of me is always home now. Thank you to Richard Rivera, James Hayek, Andrea Lorenzo Molinari, David Byrne, and all the great creators at Scout Comics for not just making Scoot, but making something a lost kid once dreamed about come true. I am just one kid from Queens who never would believe his jumbled words could ever go this far. And of course, we're talking about Rob Anderson's Cat Dad and Supermom, and Elefort Never Forgets. So check that out, guys. Look, if you do not see it in your comic store, tell them to order it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, a shameless plug.
A shameless plug. Here we go. Hosted by C. Michael Lanning and myself. It's the biggest headlines of the week and as much indie news as we can give you in about 60 to 90 minutes. With the indie news, it's got to have art, a pitch, and a link to go back. Otherwise, it won't make the show. And it has to be indie and have a consumer-ready look and feel. Check back daily for changes in what's in the lineup of these stories. Creators of writtensins.com. Make sure that you go over there and give it some love and kind of scroll around. There's a lot there.
All right, we're at our 1 hour mark, but since we had that special message at the head of our at the head, I think we can go a little bit over today, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Speaking of heading over, Betty Page heads to Ireland for Curse of the Banshee comic book. Dynamite Entertainment has announced that pinup girl Betty Page is heading to Ireland for her next declassified mission. Check that out on flickeringmyth.com. Oh my gosh, Betty Page is still around. Such an icon, huh?
And here we go from Sam Vera, 28 days until launch of Catch the Crazies issue number 3. Sign up and be first on day 1 to benefit from the first day backer reward. Kickstarter, Catch the Crazies. Sign up for the notifications.
All right. And now, again, from another news source, from usatoday.com, fact check. Betty comic from 1997 showed kids attending virtual school in 2021. A Betty comic from February 1997 showed kids in 2021 attending virtual school on personal computers with cameras mounted on their monitors.
Imagine that.
So go check that out. Look at that. Comics predicting the future.
Indie Know is all about getting you stories worth seeing and hearing. Many do go on to be part of Week Ended, but some of them have a limited timetable and can't make it the whole week. Check back daily for Indie Know.
All right. And of course, we have here from Xenoscope some artwork for the covers for Van Helsing, Black
Annis?
Please tell me that's what this is.
Annis.
Because I'm afraid I won't say that right and it will come out really bad. Annis. Yes, from Xenoscope. Check it out, guys. That was
Brian. If you're watching, expand on that. Give us a little bit of a pitch so we can read it and give it some love. I mean, the art looks fantastic.
Awesome. Yes.
Yeah. Image unveils Die number 16 variant as tribute to UK comic shops. So they unveiled a Die number 16 analog variant cover as a thank you, exclusive to Diamond UK retailers. Oh, boo! What about us? But you can say thank you without NFTs? And you can find that on bleedingcool.com.
Well, the writer of Die, Kieran, is a British writer. And so I think that's why they were leaning towards the UK retailers over there. And we love our UK guys. Hey, Russ. So,
what about me?
we got a tribute there. We're sure of course we've had some tributes on comic book pages for our folks over here too. So, Hey, but we haven't forgotten everybody. All right. Rob Anderson says, in comics, you never made it. You're just visiting for as long as the fans allow it.
Okay. Things that make you go, And if you want your event, Kickstarter, Indiegogo, or news shared on our site, send an email to comicsnewswire@yahoo.com. And don't
And be
forget,
sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, I was going to say, make sure you put a pitch there, a link. Tell us what it's about, guys. We want to know. We want to tell everybody about your book. But if it's not there, what are we going to do? So be sure to tell us everything.
Yeah. Because honestly, if this ever goes to podcast, and consider it like if you're watching this with your eyes closed, we can't see a picture with our ears, So send in a pitch.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet, but let us know what it's about. Send a good pitch, maybe a video if it's good with the copyright and all that stuff. If you're using like public domain music or whatever. But hey, we're at the end of what we've got here on Week Ended. Be kind and share. For a lot of campaigns, you guys, there is the whole dollar. A dollar makes a difference in the algorithms. And I want to say thank you to Trish and Mike for tuning in live. I don't know if
and we also got Marvy and Cameron Christopher Payne out there too. We're not seeing your comments, guys.
We're not seeing comments in here. So, we apologize for that. But I think StreamYard or maybe Facebook is kind of playing games and stuff. But I'm trying to find.
Looking at you, Facebook.
Yeah. Always
in a nice way, Mr. Zuckerberg, or whatever your name is. So anyway, you want to tell us?
I was looking for. I don't know which room it is, but for the dollar. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find it. Only $1. It makes a difference. There it is. I'm just going to play this for you guys. We'll be right back.
The power of a single dollar. One single dollar can help make dreams come true. Every dollar is a declaration of support and belief. It helps the creators and the teams behind the book. Just $1 helps create new worlds and keeps creators creating.
All right.
Yeah, it does. It makes a huge difference, you guys. It helps the algorithms. It helps the backer count. And it helps people know it's a nice tip, if anything, right. And sometimes you can get some really cool stuff with it. You never know.
You want to let them know where you're at, where we can find you maybe tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. So tonight is Freaky Friday, and we have a couple of guests, and we're going to be talking about adult toys, lingerie, a little bit of sex ed, perhaps. And so that will be announced shortly. As soon as I get out of here, I'm going to be creating the room and having a little bit more of a description there. But it is highly recommended for 18 and up, adults only, please. And that is going to be on Geek Insider, Comic Book Advocates, and Ragin. We are going to be simulcasting on our YouTube channel. So make sure you tune in tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. And you guys can follow me at linktree.com/MEREJ99. It's got all of my links. It's got the links to Continuum Comics. It's got links to where I write, where I vlog, and where I create stuff. All of my links, social media.
And of course, you can find me also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm over there sometimes. I like to peek in once in a while. And of course, you find me right here on Fridays, on Sundays, where I'm still being held hostage. I'm not letting that go. And of course, now Mondays with Geek Speak, where we talk to comic book industry people and find out what they have to say. So, and other than that, guys, I think that's it. We're done.
All right. We'll see you Sunday Comics Brunch, 11 a.m. ish sometimes.
Wait, before we do that, though, Sunday is a special day. Are we having Comics Brunch Sunday?
It is Easter, isn't it?
Yeah. I didn't think about that. So, these holidays keep sneaking up on me. This whole Mother's Day and everything. Man, come on.
I don't really do holidays. Hallmark doesn't determine my calendar, but I know that this is a big one.
Oh, wow.
I know this is a big one for
Did we put our disclaimer up? I don't think we put our disclaimer.
I think maybe we did. Was it in the intro? I hope so. No, but seriously, it's one of those things. Easter, so happy Easter to all of you who do celebrate, and have fun. Be safe. Be kind. It doesn't take anything but a little bit of effort, and it's free. Anything else, see?
No. Do you have you know how to roll out the
I do.
outro?
I have the ended of weekended here. See you guys.
Bye.
Okay, so we don't know if we're going to be here Sunday. We'll let you know. We'll announce it.
It's called suspense. Wait till the next issue.
Follow us on social media, and we will let you know. Yeah, I completely. I wasn't even looking at my calendar. It's like, oh crap. Okay, see ya.
Bye.